Hey, Donnie here from RotoMoto with your first outdoor injury report of the year, brought to you by O'Neill. Luckily, we got out of the first round without any major additions, but there were still some crashes and guys banged up to update about. First, something that flew under the radar going into round one that's worth touching on. Did you know that Hunter Lawrence had a practice crash leading up to the first round? Because you couldn't tell. The 96 confirmed he had a big crash during the week before Fox Raceway that, quote, tore all of the fascia and cartilage off his rib, which is nothing to scoff at. Alas, Hunter went out, rode smart, and came out of round one with an 8-point lead despite the injury. And if this is Hunter's pace while ailing, the rest of the 250 title hopefuls should be concerned. In the 250 class, there are two guys who crashed in the first moto and were unable to line up for the second. The first was Barcia Suzuki's Robbie Wageman, who was running right around the top 20 when he went down in the first moto. Unfortunately, he was too shaken to get back out there for the second moto, but fortunately, he seems to be good by the end of the R Jerky vlog and escaped without major injury. Carter Dubach, on the other hand, was not so lucky. Of the same family that brought us Doug Dubach, Carter made his first pro national ever, but unfortunately went down on the last lap of the first moto and was not able to line up for the second. Carter will be on the track on Friday for press day at Hangtown and try to give it a go this weekend, but the original plan was for him to just race the first 3 rounds, so I'm sure he will tread carefully. Justin Barcia attended press day and is in good spirits. Last week, he was able to do push-ups, so his return from a broken collarbone should not be that far out, but I am sure he and the team are going to be cautious for the return and aim for Redbud after the weekend off. Christian Craig joined Chris Kiefer as a guest on the PulpMX show this week and shared a bit about his recovery after dislocating his hip during the Supercross season. It is worth giving the whole episode a watch, but I'll just say here that CC is aiming to return to action in about 6 weeks, which could give him the opportunity to rejoin at Millville and race the final 5 rounds of the series. Speaking of Kiefer, Chris actually showed up to Paula to race this weekend, but his aspirations of qualifying for the motos at age 46 were dashed before they could even get going after a crash in the first qualifying session left him with a rib injury. Luckily, the diagnosis is just cracked and not broken ribs. He's going to rest up and hope to give it a go next week for Thunder Valley. A few other guys to touch on include Seth Hammaker and Austin Forkner, who have both been cleared to start riding. Word is that Carson Mumford was originally set to do the first 4 rounds of the series as a fill-in for Pro Circuit, which would take us until Redbud, so it is likely that one or both of those riders are aiming to return that first weekend in July. Similarly, Phil Nicoletti of Club MX and Pierce Brown of TLD Gas also appear to be eyeing the same timetable, with Troy Lee Gas signing Caden Braswell as a fill-in through the first 4 rounds of the series. There have been no further updates on Bloss or Anderson, but much like the rest of the riders and teams, I could see them holding off until after the weekend off and giving it a go at Redbud as well. Nothing out of the Tomac or Malcolm Stewart camps, as well as Cameron McAdoo. Be sure to subscribe for the latest once we hear more clarity about the recovery process from them. Thanks for watching another O'Neill Injury Report. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.